All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. ToeTagginTambo, back for our final edition of the Thursday Night Football Showdown show here on the Mayo Media Network. There's, I think at least, I looked at the schedule, I don't see any more Thursdays, Mondays. It looks like last Showdown show. It's going to be a good one, though, besides the fact that it is the Jets at the Browns and Simeon at Flacco. Before we get to that, though, talk about some of the other stuff. That's why it's going to be a good one. We've got an annual giveaway to do. We hit the 5,000 members, subscribers, I should say, over on our YouTube at SHIPIT Nation. If you still want to get over there and do so, get there now, subscribe. It's free to do. That was the drive for 5. We'll have many more giveaways to come down the road because of that, but we are giving away a $5.99 membership. We have it selected randomly before the show started, so we'll get to that here in a little bit. We've got the winner of the annual draw. Throughout the show, if you're here now, it's going to be given away to someone in the chat interacting with us. On this show, we have our guy, Chris Neville. Nevs, he's giving away a 6-month membership. It's the final giveaway we had leading up to the end of the year as far as the big boys go. So somebody will still come away with a 6-month membership, whether it's a new member, add on to someone who's already with us, whatever it might be. We'll see how it shakes out. But we're still going to get through everything else. Going to talk about this game, how it plays out, the captains, the ownership, the roster construction, position by position, some FanDuel thoughts. And then, of course, at the end, we will have our Run the Sim segment. For those of you that are new or finding us at the last show we're doing of the season around this stuff, we are sponsored and brought to you by runthesims.com. We will use Run the Sims at the end to do our sim segment, but if you want to check it out, find your leverage, go to runthesims.com, use promo code SHIPIT to get 10% off. Hoopster, how was your holidays, man? I'll bring you in off of that. I know we did some shows over the holidays, but this is our first one getting back live with everybody here.
Yeah, it was a busy weekend with all those NFL slates, a lot of solid, fun NFL games. Back to the grind. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the chat can, but I think for the playoffs last year, didn't they do a Monday night game? Again, I could be wrong. This could be totally off base, but I thought there was a Monday night game in the first round potentially. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know or anyone in the chat potentially knows, but fairly certain that was the case, no?
I see all Sunday.
You might be right. I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Anyhow,
playoffs though. We saw playoffs maybe.
Yeah.
Wild card is Saturday, Sunday. Divisional round shows Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm just making it very possible. I'm making shit up. I turned 40 this year, so things are slowing down up top a little bit. So you think you remember things that you don't remember, and then you forget things that you think you're going to remember. So it's a little bit of a mess. In terms of this being last Thursday show, it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, we basically every single Thursday, I think all three of us showed up here on these shows, the Monday night shows. It's been a hell of a ride. Obviously, our first season here at SHIPIT Nation doing these shows. Real proud of, what we were able to produce and get through on these shows. And, looking forward to obviously continuing this momentum for sure. So it's been a fun ride. Enjoy working with you guys and, can't wait for the future.
Yeah, and before I bring my guy Title in, I do want to echo a lot of what Hoop just said. Just thank everybody. It's a lot of people watching this show here on the Mayo Media Network. Thank you, first off, to Pat Mayo, my guy, always coming through for us, helping us out, grow our stuff, grow everything that we're doing over at SHIPIT Nation, help bring you guys the best content possible that we can. So thanks to him and thanks to all of you. You guys are the ones that make it happen. We're happy to do it. We love what we're doing. It's going to be exciting. Our guy Michael comes through here, says he's been a founding family member with a monthly sub, have become a much better player since joining this community. Learning NBA has been fun. We put out the courses, try and make it so that you don't just have to jump into something. You can learn about it. The three of us recorded a 2-hour course. Members that join get all of our courses for free. We just did the PGA course, and he said, can't wait for PGA. Me neither. I know Hoop can't. I know Title can't. When last week Title came at me, he's getting in them cash streets, taking down the 40K plus, he told us. But it's going to be an awesome PGA season, and there's going to be more on that to come. Title, my man, always just messing with you. Love you. How was your holidays, man? What's going on? What's happening here?
Yeah, it's nice. I'm happy to be back in Arizona. I don't think I saw the sun once in Wisconsin. I come back, get off the plane, it's sunny. And, man, vitamin D, the sun is very important. And to learn to appreciate it even more coming back. So it's nice being back. Excited to talk some football. it's a very tough game. And especially you're talking Run the Sims, our sponsor, that's probably our Run the Sim segment later is probably going to dictate a lot what I do right now, because I'm stumped. What I do know is I'm going to be leaving money on the table. That is one thing for sure. Low total, 2 gross teams. I wish we had it like last week, though, where the Browns, we knew they would lose their kicker early and go for it on 4th down every time, because I'd be playing all 5-1 Browns. But yeah, Run the Sim segment I'm very, very interested on. Very interested in what you two are saying, because it's a tough slate. I just know I'm leaving money. When you win, how much do you win is the goal today, but it is a tough slate.
And Stewie, my boy, you always know what we say, less is more. So keep that in mind for the future. We'll get to that. We're talking football today, though. It is, if you didn't want to figure out Flacco this week on the main slate, you don't have to. You get to do it tonight. But I will say the main slate's not much better. You got to figure out other stuff over there. There's a lot of backup quarterbacks. Minnesota just said Mullins is going to be out. Hall's going to be back in for them. We got Tyrod Taylor, all kinds of different backup quarterbacks this week. So it's going to be a fun slate for the main slate. We'll have you guys covered for that and more. I'll be back on Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, yes. So the last show in studio with Mayo for NFL. And then the PGA shows will start on the Sony Open week. Actually, I'm missing next week's version, but back for the Sony Open. And then we'll be back still on Sundays to do our show 9:45 a.m. Eastern right here on this channel. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to this channel while you're here to get all that content for free. Hoopster, gonna kick it back to you, man. It's a low total. It's actually dropped a little. It's down to 34 now is the last that I've seen. You got the Browns favored at home. It's always tough to go into the dog pound anyway. How could the Jets possibly go in here and do anything, right? Of course, there's no way the Jets can go in here and do anything tonight, but I'll kick it to you first, man. Grand scheme overview for what you see for this game and how you see it playing out.
Yeah, it's tough game, obviously, when you look at both these teams. I mean, the Browns, I think, there's no doubt about it, have not overachieved, but they've gone beyond the expectation, especially with, Deshaun Watson being out and all the quarterbacks they went through and whatnot. And they're sitting, in a playoff spot. And, that's a pretty big accomplishment. And then you look at the Jets, who everyone thought would potentially, be in the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers. He gets hurt and the season just immediately goes to shit. They have nothing to play for, and the Browns are going to want to continue to win. And that's why we're seeing the spread at 7.5. The Browns have one of the best defenses in the NFL, especially at home, which makes things a little bit difficult for fantasy purposes. Have to imagine the Browns get the job done here, but that doesn't mean some of these Jets guys can't be there or get there fantasy-wise for this one game slate. But the options are certainly limited. There's just not a lot of guys that are in play here. Trevor Siemian, starting quarterback for the Jets, 12 fantasy points last time out, and it really hampers like what a guy like Garrett Wilson is able to do. However, 15 targets for Garrett Wilson last game, like 15 targets in a shitty matchup, a trailing game script could certainly be there. He's locked in on Garrett Wilson. So, the two guys that obviously stand out for the Jets are going to be Garrett Wilson and then Breece Hall coming off the monster game, and obviously a much easier matchup, but similar to Garrett Wilson, 16 targets. Like 16 targets for Breece Hall is absolutely insane. So you're talking just massive volume for those two guys. And then on the Brown side, we have Amari Cooper coming off a monstrous game, 10 for 250 and 2 touchdowns. You needed him last week. You have Jerome Ford, you have Njoku, and then Joe Flacco is somehow carrying this team and getting these pass catchers the ball. He's 17, 25, 22, and 30 fantasy points for Joe freaking Flacco in what is almost 2024. Absolutely insane. So I think captain, probably concentrated captain pool just because the high volume guys and the guys that are most likely to get the job done tonight. But I agree with Title's initial sentiment is you just got to get really comfortable leaving big chunks of salary on the table. And then the big talking point will definitely be Browns defense, because they're going to be highly owned, and we've seen it all season long with these big home favorites in good spots. The ownership's even higher than anyone's projecting, and it's happened all season long. The captain ownership is higher than anyone's projecting. So I think Browns defense is a very, very important talking point on the slate.
Yeah, which we'll definitely get to all that stuff later on. I think that's going to be key. I have some, on the other side, I don't think the Jets D is as bad as what people think. I think that's definitely something that's going to come up here. Our guy Marley reminds us, as many others did throughout the chat, about the revenge stuff tonight. I know my guy Degenerate 75 and I were talking on the first look is like, why didn't the Jets just go out and get Flacco again after Aaron Rodgers went down? Maybe they wish they did now. They were kind of starting the season pretty strong. Our guy Sean comes through with double D lock night to end the season. Definitely could be a thing after how it's been going. But Hoop, man, before we get to Title's thoughts on this game, this might be the way to win the 6-month membership. We could get a slogan popper starting out there so we can have some fun throughout this one. Try and keep it exciting. Check this out. Join the crew and let the winnings accrue. SHIPIT Nation, where DFS dreams come true. I don't really love the crew because even though you put an ox in front of it, a crew, but he's on to something there. So maybe, he'd try to double it down. A year of triumph where victory is met. SHIPIT Nation is your best bet.
Go ahead and give it to him. I mean, it's like people know to come to Hoop with the kids and the family talk and that sort of thing.
No, it's not that. I'm saying the game that we're going to play. I'm just taking the upper hand on this one. This is the new game. The best slogan describing SHIPIT Nation will win the 6-month membership today. So you put it out there, put your slogans in the chat. Adam gave us the idea. Guess what? He's the leader in the clubhouse because he put the effort in and came up with the idea. But you guys put your best version out there. I did hear someone say this one before. They said better than the best and better for less. I have heard that one as well too, because we cost less.
It incorporates like the business. It incorporates, our business model, which is very straightforward and upfront to people. I do kind of like that one. That is a nice one.
Some of these are already okay. So either way, title, we got the plan now. You don't care. You just sit back and laugh. It's hilarious, which I love. But this is going to be fun. So you got to make the best of these types of games that we have. Almost 200 watching, guys. Do us a favor. If you're just joining us, hit that like button. Subscribe to the Mayo Media Network. I popped it up on screen here just to show you. We did cross the 5,000. If you want a lot more of the free shows throughout this season coming up, especially in the PGA streets, going to want to get over to that channel at SHIPIT Nation and subscribe there. Title, I'll kick it to you, man. Your thoughts on how this game plays out. I know you said be waiting to see later sort of for your DFS side of things, but just grand scheme overview up front. How do you see this actually going?
Gross. Absolutely gross. I mean, first of all, you're talking about Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson's targets. I mean, Trevor Siemian dropped 49 pass attempts for 12 DK points. Like, how bad do you have to be to drop back 49 times and only get 12 DK points is the first thing. Second thing is there's some interesting, important injury news that we're waiting on. Amari Cooper, he's going to play. Lazard is questionable, which that doesn't mean too much. He got demoted to wide receiver 4. Brownlee has taken his spot as wide receiver 3. But a big one, Greg Zuerlein is questionable still. They called up Austin Siebert to the practice squad on Wednesday. We're going to get that news, obviously, before lock. Siebert's not in the pool, but it sounds pretty game time decision to me, unless you guys got the news that I missed. But Zuerlein's in the pool, and I mean, what that would do is just make defenses even more popular, make the other kicker even more popular, because I think Zuerlein will get some ownership right in that mid-tier if he does play. So, and then, Siebert's not in the pool on either site if Zuerlein does miss. So that is important news. It's Greg Zuerlein. Lazard, not as much. He's questionable with an illness, but again, he's demoted to wide receiver 4. As far as just the overview of the slate and captains and that, I'm with Hoop. Like, pretty concentrated at captain for me. There's only so many guys. Balls, Amari Cooper's. Like, I want points at the captain spots. I don't need to be taking flyers down below. Think you can leave a lot of money on the table. How I see the game going, I mean, I think the Browns probably. Joe Flacco's been playing good ball. Simeon's gross. Defenses, I'm going to be jumping on the defenses. It's probably the one time defenses don't get there, of course, but it's tough. I'm excited for Run the Sim segment, and I'm definitely leaving money on the table to get different. And like 4,000, 5,000 people that are uncomfortable doing it hand building, I'll be good doing that.
Yeah, and I know Hoop had this up earlier. Shout out to our guy Double D, a heavy supporter all season long. Says, what's good, fellas? 78 lineups built, all Njoku captain. Well, I'll tell you what, my guy Double D, a spoiler alert, it'll be on the slate plan on the site. You can't spell Njoku without no, and that's how much captain of him I'll have up top tonight. No Njoku captain for me. Going to build out the rest of my lineups after the show. Good luck, everyone. If he continues to do what he does, good for him. I'm going to take some chances on those Jets guys and some of the other options like Title just mentioned. Where am I going here next? Some other ones here, like Hoop. Did you find any good ones over there that you like? Just seeing some of these pop up just as we go throughout.
There's a few really good ones. What was this
if you
one?
always lose,
Adam, he's got too many. Yeah, Adam continues to just pump them out. I mean, this is like is this Tambo's burner potentially, Adam?
No, they're not good enough. They're not good enough. They're just the idea was good. The concept.
You can't get on Tambo's level. Can't get on Tambo's level, Adam.
What does Title say? There's levels to this. You got to be able to mix it up.
I like what you're, Adam. I like what you're doing, man.
The idea was very good. The concept.
Tambo's worried. Tambo's worried that he's coming for a spot.
That was my thoughts. Yeah, that was my thoughts too.
Yeah. Tambo's getting worried over there.
I'm just trying to find some other one here, but yeah, we'll keep it going. This guy said, "Giving Njoku the third degree" with that comment. That's not a good one. Did you see the thing title over the holidays? Like the intern posted
Instagram.
And it had him, funny. And he commented on. He's like, "Man, why'd you put me so close to the fire?" He's like, "That ain't right." So yeah, there's just a lot of good ones. Why risk it when you could ship it? Now our guy Kevlar is coming through. Basic clean line. I don't mind that for a quick hitter. That's a good one that way. Title, I'll stay with you. Just captain thoughts. I know you said you're going to keep it tight up top. I'll just give you mine quickly and then let you comment. But those targets alone can be enough for those Jets guys in a game like this, back and forth. Depends on how you see it playing out with the high scoring, low scoring, whatever that looks like. But I think for me, definitely those guys I've got interest in. You mentioned about the kicker situation. We'll see with Zerloin, not captains for a second, but Amari Cooper, hopeful to play. We could still get some crazy news near the end of this slate or near the end of this day, closer to lock, where it says that he's not going to be in on this slate or something, but I just don't expect that. I'm assuming he's in for right now. I know our projections, all that stuff are assuming it to be that way. Another guy, though, I'll tell you, cousin of Joe Flacco, no Flacco. Won't be having any of him up top either. If it ends up being him again, just going off, good for him. I'll actually have some Jets D. I'll have some Breece Hall. I'll have some stuff that I can leverage that situation with. Up top, I won't probably have the defense, but maybe I will say this. Let me kick it to you on this thought then. I might play the Browns D up top because even though I'm mostly on the Jets side of things, it's like if I think the Browns come through, I think it's like you need all these other sort of floor ceiling type combos. So I'd be more comfortable using them up top. It might just be a beatdown, and then you get different in the flex that way. But give me your other captain thoughts. Anything else you want to add talking up top tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think Browns is interesting. I also think they might be like 10% to 15% owned in the captain spot, which is just difficult for me to get there. I condensed it most definitely for me. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson on the Jets side. I'm with you with no Flacco. I don't want either quarterback at the captain as much. Amari Cooper has a tough matchup, but man, coming off a monster game. He's probably my least favorite of the four. So then the last one is Njoku. I'll be playing some Njoku as well. He's been so good, a big target for Flacco. And the price compared to Breece, Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, I can see Njoku being the highest scoring guy on the slate. And then you can leave 6,000 because you can upgrade to some other captains and flex spots and leave even more salary than I would with Breece and Garrett Wilson. But right now, I'm probably going to be playing like 20, 30 lineups, something like that in this game since I don't love it. And I'm going to keep it probably 4 people. Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, and those are my favorites. And then it'd be Njoku and Amari Cooper. Outside of that, I don't think defense is crazy. Elijah Moore, revenge, big play guy, sure. He'll be pretty low owned, but I'm playing the main guys who I know are going to get the targets, who I know will be on the field, who I know can break long ones, get different at the flex and leave salary. I don't like the cheapies, or I think defenses will be over-owned. I get it, but I think it's really just those 4 for me.
Yeah, I like it all. There's some other really good ones coming in, but I forgot this one. My guy Richie Smalls has me covered on it. I do like that too. Again, I don't know right now what you guys are seeing, but it looks like he might be the 4th or 5th highest owned captain, depending on what you see Flacco come in at. Maybe he gets the late steam because of it, but I'm seeing still Amari. I'm seeing people that will still play Breece or Garrett Wilson. I'm seeing Njoku, Flacco, Browns D. There's other options up here, and even if it's more evenly spread out, that just means you. And it probably will be. Yeah. You can still get in on the action on these other ones. So I don't hate that. What was the one I had to show Hoop? This is Hoop's burner. Content, Discord, live shows, and family. The results at SHIPIT Nation are simply uncanny. This is Hoopster to the T. Like, he got multiple burners out there right now. So definitely seen that one coming.
So good.
Any other ones here? Let's see. Hoop, keep going. What do you got here? Give us your captain thoughts. I'm sure.
I'm in lockstep kind of with title here at the captain spot. And it does look like it's going to get spread out, which is nice because, if you run it tight up top, like you're able to get overweight pretty easily. So that's kind of my angle. In terms of the defense, I haven't decided yet what I'll do with Brown's defense, but the one thing you need to know is it's going to be more owned than it's showing right now. I mean, it looks, I don't know, a lot of places are around 10% that it's showing. I guess it's probably more like 15. And if you are doing this, I think you just definitely want to leave salary on the table, like that sort of thing. Like you want to make sure you're doing some different stuff in those teams if possible, because again, based on the ownership of some of these guys, Browns D could end up being one of the more popular captain plays on the slate. So you just got to be cautious. Again, I haven't personally decided what I'm going to do. Kind of leaning towards getting a little bit just because, man, it's like, it's been painful all season long, like not having these defenses up top and just watching them absolutely go off. But I like a couple of comments in the chat, like Jerome Ford. I really like him up there, and I think he has a chance to come in a little lower than some of these other high-volume guys. I mean, it could just simply be Jerome Ford 3 touchdowns today. Like, I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. Short week for the Browns. They just want to get the win. Like, just give this guy the rock and get the hell out of there as an 8-point favorite, 7.5-point favorite. Totally see them doing that. So I like that play up top. I will have some Amari Cooper, but again, I really in lockstep with title. Like, he's like not my favorite up there, but I will have some, especially because he's the one that does have the chance to get a little bit of steam here because of that monster freaking game we just saw where he absolutely went off. I will have Njoku, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. I mean, the targets are just insane for those guys, and really everything's kind of going through them. And I think that continues tonight in a trailing game script. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. And then like the Browns defense stuff, got to figure that out. But cheap captains tonight, just not going to be for me.
3 quick thoughts. One, I'll segue off that. I will have some cheap captains tonight because when every other dude is 10 to 12% and they're all evened out up top, it means they're all good plays, which means how do I get all of them together is with a cheap captain. So I'm going to do that tonight because it's funny with every one of those guys getting 10 to 15%, it's actually leaving the cheap captains completely left alone versus slates where I'm like, oh, that sucks because just once people go there, it means this. I don't see that happening as much. Second part, you said keeping a tighter captain pool overall. I like. I won't always follow what I say I like because I know what you're doing. It makes sense to me. But what you said and what title just brought up, you guys, if you just played 5 captains tonight and played 20% of all of them, you're going to have huge leverage on all of them. Even if the Browns D got to 12% and you had 20, you're almost double the field. You get more ways to go about it. So I do like that angle of attack. And then I like the Ford piece you mentioned, but I'll add a caveat, an extra piece or a bonus to it. It'll be in the site plan as well over on the site. All these little things that I try and like come up with in my mind and think through always end up in there. You could play a Ford Browns D 2-4 tonight. He just is the guy. The Browns D still comes through, but it's all that chasing and come from behind points, PPR, point per reception stuff that adds up on the other side to be able to find it there. So that's some real thoughts. Now let's go back to the jokes here. What do we got here?
That's one way not to win because Tambo hates the wheelchair thing until he uses it. Like, he yells at me for using the wheelchair stuff, and then he circles back last show, and all of a sudden it's funny again. Out of nowhere, it's back to being funny.
It can be explained. It cannot win any more contests. It can still be funny. Like, you didn't even let me read that. Where did it go? Go back to it. It's still a good bit.
You'll hate it though. You'll hate it because you don't like the things.
Money to be won. A wheelchair for your mom. Hoop title and Tambo all here for some fun. Okay,
that's good.
What about this one though? What about Darren Kostecki? SHIPIT Nation. All sports covered. These guys are freaks. Process not picks, but they will expose the players who are cheeks.
Whoa, that's got to be new leader in the clubhouse.
That's creative. It's using everything we do here and what we're about. It had like the punchline out of the gate, like SHIPIT Nation. Bang, hit him with this punchline. And then it also incorporated a long-time joke of cheeks in there. So Darren is the new clubhouse leader to beat. Adam, I have to tell you, you're still going. and you started the idea, I really like your stuff from that perspective. If you're not a member, Adam, reach out. Or if you are, it doesn't matter actually. Info@ShipIT Nation, going to give you a free month for creating this setup.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, if he's not a member, it has to be.
Their prices are low. Learn the content and let the winnings flow. By the way, that was your best one yet, too. So it tells you, practice makes perfect. What we're all about. You work on your game, you get better. You take shots, you get better. So we love to see it. Adam, screenshot your YouTube account, send it to info@shipitnation.com. We will get you set up. There's too many now. They're starting just to roll in, but it's kind of fun. Title, I'll go back to you. Let's move on to these running backs. We talked through captain. I don't know if you have any more roster construction stuff you want to talk about quickly, but you could do that. And then if not, take us into some of these running backs.
Well, as far as roster construction, I think it's going to be 4-2 Browns will be by far the most popular. 5-1 Browns, maybe a little bit as well. Of course, 3-3 is always a little bit. But I got something for you guys, though, because you guys keep talking Ford and then any Hunt and Ford lineups like together, which I think you can do. But are you guys worried a little bit? Like, the reason I don't love Ford at captain as much is like Kareem can definitely vulture him in the end zone. He's plus 185 to score. Ford's plus 125. Two of the better on the slate. I think you can definitely play them together, especially in a low-scoring game like this. If those two both get in the box, even at captain with one of them, the other in the flex. So I definitely would not group that away. But are you guys worried a little bit with Kareem, like limiting Ford's upside a little bit at the captain? Or are you guys so good taking that shot? Because he'll be another one around the 10-11% spread up top.
I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna be fine with Hunt being in there too. I mean, again, it's a short week, Thursday game. They're gonna be in the playoffs. Like, they could just want to just take an easy win here, grind it out, grind the clock out, just run, that sort of thing. After obviously passing a ton with Flacco, they don't want to be a passing team. They don't want to have to throw it that many times with Joe Flacco back there. Short week, I could see them just saying, man, we are just jamming these guys, getting the win, and getting the hell out of here. And that's why I'm fine with Ford up top, and I'm fine with Hunt as a flex play, fine playing them together.
Yeah, I'm good with some of that. Like, I missed kind of the first part, double checking my stuff early just to get the exact answer. But I only, if I have them together, it's only in the flex. If I'm playing them up top, which for sure playing Ford, again, we got everything covered for you over at ShipIT Nation. We'll get the final stuff out tonight, but if I'm playing them up top, I'm playing them to eat the other person's lunch. In most cases, in the flex, I think it's kind of fine. It could just be that one touchdown each. They're not needed up top, but that's just how the game plays out. It ends up being a PPR superstar up top. Ford only gets in once, Hunt gets in once, and that's kind of the way it is. Derek, who's a teacher, by the way. We know Derek. He's here
Very
often.
true. There's some really good ones, but man, there are some really fucking bad ones.
That's why we're not reading those ones.
There's some real bad ones. And I'll be honest, like, if I had to go in there and post something, it would be one of the really bad ones. Like, I don't have that sort of thing going on. Tambo, you're going to love. You're going to love everything he posts. But there are some bad ones.
We got the Just Ship It shirt. Our guy Scary said right here about getting the Nike slogan. We got that already. Just the beam straight up to the top. Just ship it, baby. That's what it's all about. If you want to keep it short and sweet and simple, but there's lots of other good ones in here. No more jokes about, okay, what did Nick come through with? This might be really bad. I didn't read it first. No more jokes about a wheelchair and your mom. Back to learning, picking, and winning from the best in the business. Been here since the beginning. Oh, he's just telling us what's up now. It's all good. We love Nick. We sent Nick a nice shirt. Didn't tell us how the marathon went, though. He said he wanted the shirt for the marathon, but I don't know if we got the results of the marathon.
Oh, man. Good thing this game sucks.
We cannot be reading Mr. Roth.
A shitty game here because this stuff's just it's funny.
Did you see Roth window cleaning services? We can't be reading that. Like,
yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. ShipIT Nation, we're winning weeks are even better than clapping cheeks. I have to disagree with that. Like, unless you really need the money, but man, like,
you're telling me clapping cheeks was better than that Millie Maker?
Jeez.
Yeah, I'll take the Millie for sure.
Yeah.
All right, back on track.
Here you go. You want a healthy balance of both, right? Why can't we have two? Why can't we have both at the same time, right? Win money, then clap cheeks. That's how it should go.
How much does a Hunt and Ford anytime touchdown parlay play if they both score? That's what we do.
It's if you put in 100, you get where is it? I have to log in this. It's plus 125 and plus 185. So
okay, yeah. You said that. My bad. Okay. All right. Hoop, any other thoughts at the running back position? I know you answered Title's question of that.
Brees,
but
Ford, Hunt, I mean, probably just those guys. I don't want to mess with the crappy dudes.
Backups or anybody like that for the Jets?
I don't foresee it for me personally. Like I want to avoid like these dudes that are projected to get like 1 or 2 fantasy points because it could just go south in a hurry in this game. So no priority plays for me.
Oh man, we moved from players or cheeks to clapping cheeks, and now all the slogans go with it perfectly, and people are just dialing those in. So our guy Darren, I think, is still winning with the original cheeks. By the way, I want to note something quick before we I'm going to kick it back to you, Title, here, but just for a note here, Showdown is going to be sort of the main play, right? Down the stretch of shorter slates and Showdown, all that stuff once we get out of this regular season. I know there's some people that don't even like week 17 and 18 because you're kind of like preseason DFS, trying to figure it all out. And they'll just say, look, I'll focus on it when the short slates and the Showdown slates that matter pop in. If you don't want to sign up for the site yet, you're not ready to become a member and join the nation, you can go to shipitnation.com and you can get our 45-minute NFL DFS Showdown mini course for free. Hoop and I recorded the 4-hour main course. We clipped this out, and you can get in on that just by giving your email. No credit card information required at all. But also, I will say it's a good time to get in for special offers and exclusive announcements. Might be some of those sooner than later. So just keep that in mind as well. If you guys want to hop over to the site, you can get in. If you do want to join, you can get it on the weekly for $24. You just don't get the Discord. You can get on the monthly. You can get the monthly for $62 if you use promo code MAYO. So remember, you get everything that we offer there on the site that's included that you see up on the other screen here. If you use the code MAYO, you get it for 10% off of any of the monthly, 6-month, or annual plans. Monthly, we're usually $69, drops to the $62. And then if you did a 6-month, it would drop down. An annual, it would drop down. But those are already about $10 cheaper per month for the savings. That way, if you just want to check it out for this week, it's $24. Title, kick it back to you on these wide receivers.
Yeah, or what are you doing, Tambo? Hoop said no backup. The Israel Abikanda guy, he got 9 attempts last week. He was limited participant in practice, so he's still Q-tag. Any thoughts on him? Like, if you look at the range, he is down there. Like, Xavier Gibson is down there as the wide receiver 3. Brownlee's down there as well. Both Lazard, all of his not named Garrett Wilson wide receivers down here. Cedric Tillman, wide receiver 3 on Cleveland. Like, are you going to be taking any shots on him? He's probably going to be sub 10%. Was my only thoughts because Brees isn't going to get 100% of the work. Dalvin's irrelevant at this point. Any thoughts on him at low ownership? Like,
if he 10%. Plays, he's Q-tag right now, but if he plays the Anaconda, what is his name? Abanaconda? This guy, if I'm playing him, I might throw him into some as like just a punt play to get different. But just based on the workload last week, Brees can't get it all. Like you said, there's opportunity from that standpoint, but you could even play him and Brees together. It's a price thing. It really won't affect it or matter. I don't even think, let me just see here if I got it. I had it up earlier from when Hoop was asking, or you were asking about the other one. I don't think I have him with anywhere Brees is captain, but I would have Brees and him together. No problem. This is early again, my first run, but just looking at it for sure, I would be able to play him just based on price. It's fine, I think.
Yeah. And Kareem and Ford's interesting. I think Ford might be double the ownership. 3,200 cheaper is Kareem Hunt as well. And I like your take. Like, if you play Ford, if you 150, maybe you don't need to exclude it out. But if you're only playing 5-10 lineups, either if Ford's captain, you probably don't want Hunt because you don't want them eating each other lunch. That's when you think Ford does fall in the box twice. Hunt doesn't get there. But I do think they both can get there in the flex. So I did like your take there. As far as receiver, I mean, Amari and Garrett Wilson's obvious. I lean Garrett Wilson today. Very tough matchup for Amari Cooper on the outside. As far as Garrett Wilson, the targets are going to be there. Should be a good game script. I like the Elijah Moore. Can add in the revenge spot, but he's a big play guy. Easier matchup than Amari. Then these Brownlee, Xavier Gibson, Cedric Tillman's. Like, these are the guys that are now wide receiver 3 is Cedric Tillman. Then Xavier Gibson and Brownlee took over Lazard. Even if Lazard does play Q-tag with an illness, he got demoted to wide receiver 4. So I think you can mix in the Brownlees, the Gibson, 2,800, 3,200, and then Tillman's 3,000. My lean is probably Gibson if I had to pick one, but I think all of them, they're going to be on the field. They're cheap. If they fall in the box once, they're probably going to get there. And then 4 for 40 is probably enough to get there as well. So I'll be mixing and matching those guys as well.
Yeah, what's the Tillman thing? Do you just like it? Do you like it better if Amari's out, or do you like him? You're fine either way.
No, I'm definitely fine. I mean, I think the Jets is just going to focus on Amari, and it's going to be a lot of one-on-one and like Tillman, Njoku, Elijah Moore. It's a really tough spot for Cooper. So I don't know if I would say at the ownership, I actually think I like it more if Amari's in, because Tillman would have to get a lot of steam if Amari is out at this price tag as a wide receiver too. So yeah, all in a vacuum with ownership in that, I think I'd rather Amari be in.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. You and I always think alike when it comes to that stuff. It's like that's what we're trying to angle for. We want the slate to go a certain way so that we can take advantage of it versus why others want it. I'm dying for Amari to be in so I can get all in on him because he just had a huge game, and we're oftentimes wanting him to play so we can cover a different angle. So definitely think it's a possibility here. We'll see how it actually plays out. Our guy Josh here says 4-2 Jets. We were just talking some of that stuff, but I think that there's an opportunity here for those builds to get there. I flipped it, even said a 2-4 with the other. He says, why are the Browns getting 7.5? That's the tough thing here, man. It depends on what you actually think. But
Cheeks, that's why.
We have a Cheeks who Samian?
Yeah. So there was that. I like Gibson. He's a guy that I know like Brownlee got that touchdown or whatever, so people look that way, but I think he'll make it into as like a cheap punt, but I don't need as many of the punts. I don't love them, but I think again they can be what separates you or makes it a little bit different today, because a lot of these main guys, especially if Amari's in, when you've got the two quarterbacks, Amari, Hall, Garrett Wilson, and then you mix in like a Ford and someone else, there's definitely a spot there that you can find some of those be your differentiator. So I don't hate that as well. Hoop, your thoughts beyond, they said Hoop didn't mute when he read that one. They heard you laughing at the comments in the chat, but give us your thoughts at the wide receiver position.
There's some good ones. It's like, I'm not a very creative person, so when I see some of this creativity, I just can't resist. It just makes me giggle a little bit inside. Cooper, fine with him, but again, like, man, it is a tough matchup. I could see the Browns just, wanting to take the easy path to victory here and kind of grinding it out, but gonna have Cooper. I do prefer Wilson over Cooper. 15, 16 targets, whatever it was, just massive, and clearly should be playing from behind. Elijah Moore and Tillman on the Cleveland side, if they really do emphasize taking some away from Amari Cooper, then these guys should just stand there to benefit. And then the cheap guys for the Jets, I'll be mixing some in. Like, I don't want to have a ton of these guys. I don't anticipate having a ton of these guys. I'll have it all ranked in my player pool, but I really want to limit the exposure to these guys. I mean, the floor, the realistic floor on these guys is zero, and a lot of them could get zero. So I want to avoid the cheap plays. I think the key to the slate, probably leaving some salary on the table and focusing more on the guys that have, more solid floors is going to be my way to approach. But we'll have some of these cheaper dudes, but don't really love any of them in particularly. Probably this Brownlee guy would be my favorite at 2,800.
Wow. Ross, man, why don't you tell us? Like, but now we know that you skipped the marketing piece and go right to the content. You didn't want to hear off the top, so you don't know what's going on. So guess what? Gonna leave you out of the loop, my friend. Sorry to tell you, but you're not going to win it, and now you don't even know why they're doing it. So
he's already a member, though, so he's fine.
He wants that add-on. Didn't you see all the people that said, I'm only a monthly and I want the add-on? You never know. But Ross is a good guy. I think we just sent him a hoodie recently, I believe, as well. But Michael said
Adam's got to be like a freaking poet or something. No joke. Like, he's just rattling these puppies off.
Or he had them listed on a full page before, knowing that Tambo would love it, and he's just going down the list.
I'm still not counting out the fact that this is Tambo's burner, but we'll see.
Yeah. I would come up with a few different, but they're definitely not those ones. But I still like Adam. That's why we gave him. The funny thing is, he's still putting them in there, and he still hasn't hit us up for his free monthly membership yet. So he's just
here for the poetry, man. He's just here for the poetry.
That's it. There's lots in there. We haven't seen them all for sure. But title, I'll go back to you. Anything else you want to add there? If not, we can move on to the tight end position. Njoku, obviously a big talking piece for this slate. Tyler Conklin on the other side. And then anybody else you want to go to there. Let's talk about tight end now.
No, it's definitely just Njoku and Conklin. But I guess the better question is, like, in the Njoku range, you have Ford for 600 more, Simeon for 1,000 more, Elijah Moore is 1,200 less. I mean, he's kind of just in that, like, kind of a dead range where he's going to be probably 50% owned. He's going to get 10% ownership at captain or something. He's been so good. The chemistry's been there with Flacco. I know you mentioned it, Tambo. He's definitely overachieved. There is no doubt about that. Plus 185 to get in the box in this game is definitely good, though. So I'll be playing some. I don't know. Maybe I like him a little more at captain. Like if he gets there like he has recently, he just all the way gets there. And he does offer a little savings from Amari, from Garrett Wilson, from Brees. So I'll definitely have some there. As far as Conklin, he is 5,000. Kareem Hunt's 200 more. Browns D's 600 more, who's definitely going to be way more popular. Jets D's 1,000 less. So I think he's ownership relatively is in check. Zerline is 4,600 too. So maybe if Zerline gets ruled out, some more ownership would definitely go to the defenses. If Zerline's not playing, Browns D, Jets D even gets more steam. Conklin probably gets a little there. I mean, they just don't have any other bodies. He's going to be on the field all the time. So I'll be playing some Conklin as well. He feels safer than the Gibson, the Brownlees, the Tillmans. However, in lineups that you just say you have 800 left and you have Conklin, drop Conklin down to Gibson, Conklin down to Brownlee, whatever. And you can also get a lot less dupes that way. So I'll be looking for routes there. But, I mean, can Conklin outscore Jerome Ford? You leave 3,400 and you get 50 dupes down to 10. I'll be looking at that stuff too. But I'll be playing both those tight ends, not taking a shot on any of these other dudes.
This one's good too. Not for our slogan contest, but the joke's on you if you fade Njoku. I mean,
shouldn't it be all right? Here you go. I like that one, and I did laugh when I saw that. But shouldn't it be the joke's on you if you fade David? Like you don't want to double dip on Njoku, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with it. I'll give it a pass.
Okay. All right.
Hoop gets vetoed.
You want the strategy though?
Imagine that.
Stay in your lane.
Imagine that.
The course comes out soon. The strategy course on how all this stuff works. I'll get you set up with a free membership. But our guy Ross said he's wearing the hoodie right now. I like that. What's the other one that I saw here? Oh, what I was going to say, what he said, what title, if Njoku does what he's been doing and is up top, just break your laptop in half, snap it and move on. It's just too many games of that shit. I don't want to see that again tonight. So I have to be off that and just pray that it doesn't happen. And then there was another good one here. Oh, this one was like a little rhyme for tonight. Anthony comes through.
I did like this one too. This was kind of cool.
It has to be like a night before Christmas though. 'Twas the night. So kickers and defenses are sure to delight. 34 total with no points in sight. One score can win, so let them rip. Conklin at captain if you're trying to ship.
That's
so
good.
I don't mind that.
That's
you could
really
also
good.
sub in anybody you wanted for Conklin, though. You can get away with it. So it's pliable. You can move it around.
Yeah, that's a really good one. That's quality. That's quality poetry right there.
All right, we'll take that one. That's fair. Hoop, back to you. I mean, you probably love Njoku because he's the best right now. He's been crushing it across the league. So talk to him.
I mean, the thing with Njoku is, man, when he gets there, he just freaking gets there. I mean, it's the full throttle, like goes off type thing. So that's why I think he's definitely in play for captain. I anticipate again that it gets spread out up top. He is somewhat expensive, 7,800. When you play him in the captain, you're paying 11.7. So it's not like it's just some freebie cheap tight end play. But the reason I do want to be on him is for that main reason. When he gets there, he gets all the way there. In play in flex too. Conklin, fine play, 5K. Fine play, 5K. You like that? And then these cheap guys, like, I don't know, like, again, similar to the wide receivers, I just don't want a lot of them or much of them. If they get in, it's going to be at small percentages.
You see our girl Drea? Shout out Drea. Hope you're having a great holiday season. Wish you the best in the new year. She comes through and says, don't get burned by fading Njoku. Like, man, this is a good one today. Quality. So lots going on this one. Hoop, I'm going to stay with you. You talked earlier about the defense. We'll talk kickers and D. Title had mentioned already. We're waiting on both sides to start the day. It was the other side as well. Both sides we were talking about, but got clarity that it's going to be Riley Patterson on the other side. But he mentioned, like, again, waiting to see on Greg Z, go from there. But your thoughts on kicker and then defense as well, because you mentioned the Brown stuff being key tonight. Thoughts on that? I kind of just like the Jets on the other side. I think more I look at it.
Jets, I mean, I think this is a game, though, where Jets do get some ownership, too. Probably a decent chunk because there's just not a lot down there. You go down there, and it's like, all right, do I play defense or do I play a guy that might get one or two targets at wide receiver or tight end? People are just going to go with the Jets D. So it's going to be hard for me to get overweight on either of these defenses. They will be in my player pool though, because it's tough, man. When you get down there, there's not a lot of cheap guys, and like those cheap wide receivers, I prefer to play them when I'm playing quarterback captain teams, and I just don't really anticipate playing many I'm definitely not playing Semien in the captain. Let me clarify that. Joe Flacco haven't decided on, but I just don't think I'm going to end up getting there. So like a lot of those cheap wide receiver plays and stuff are just lacking for me tonight. I'm not super interested. So I will be on these defenses for sure, but you have to know going into it with the defenses, man, they're going to be higher owned than you think. They're going to be higher owned than anyone's projecting in this sort of game, especially the Brown side. And the Jets are going to be high owned just by the fact that we just don't have a lot of cheap guys. So I will have both in my player pool when it's all said and done. In terms of the kickers, so what's the deal if Zerline's out?
He's not in the pool.
He's not in the pool. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'd be another. Defenses will get even more ownership if that is the case. So we'll have to see. I think Zerline does play. Seems like a guy that will grind it out. But we do have Riley Patterson, 4,800 for the Browns. I think he's a fine option. All these plays will have increased ownership though because of the lack of cheap options on the slate.
Yeah. All right. Title, I'll let you kick in your thoughts. I mean, I'll just say quickly.
I like this.
And Joke would be a damn good factory worker. I'm confident if he ever chopped a finger off that he wouldn't miss any time.
Tape it back on.
He wouldn't miss any time. That's good, DD.
I guess people are looking too. I just realized from this, like, is that the other thing? Not just his results recently, but the DVP rankings are. This is the spot for Njoku. Like, we're going to get a good. That like makes it even worse for me. Again, if he gets there, I love it. I just pack it up, move on to the next game. Like, I think it's the best spot. Pick up clean leverage. If it ends up being the rake, I'm excited about all the rest of my lineups that don't need it and don't have it. So I'd be happy about that. But he could. I mean, maybe it's the night you got to play him. So we'll see. I'll get your thoughts at kicker and defense there, Title. Anything else to add?
But yeah, I mean, they are way more attackable in the middle of the field compared to the outside for Amari. So that's part of the reason too. In the Njoku, Elijah Moore, kickers and D. Yeah, I'm gonna have a ton. I think I don't like them in the captains. I'll eat the chalk in the flex. But so if Zerline doesn't play, both these defenses will get even more ownership. Riley Patterson will get even more ownership. But why I like them so much in the flex, like Jerome Ford 8,400, the Jets Stees 4,000. That's 4,400 right there. And I don't think it's crazy by any means if the Jets outscore Jerome Ford or Simeon. Dude, just 49 pass attempts, and he scored 12 DK points. Like, I don't know if this dude will ever have 49 pass attempts again in his life. So what if he gets 7, leave $4,400, play a defense? So I'll be using a lot of these defenses, kickers, who are especially defenses in good spots, leaving a lot of salary on the table because you could see being one of the highest scoring people on the teams on the slate. Whatever, they're not people, whatever you want to call them. So I'll be playing a lot. I like them a lot more in the flex. I'll be playing Riley Patterson. As Zerline plays, I'll be playing them. Just you can leave a lot of salary, and I could see any of them outscoring a lot of these upper tier guys. So that's how I'll be using them.
Yeah, and one thing I did skip over, I know we went through each position by position, but was there any punts that like $200 or anything down there at all, Title, that you could find and get to?
No, I think I'd rather just go to the Cedric Tillmans, the Brownlees, the Gibsons, the defenses, kickers that way. I do not like anything. Anacondas or whatever we're talking there. Like I don't see much down there.
What happened to anybody for you, Hoop, down there?
All right. Yeah. Talked on mute, so we're good to go. Not much. I mean, there's just really, I don't know. I want to avoid that range if possible, to be honest with you. There's just not, I mean, it would probably be that all the way down. Like, no, man, I'm going to try to be out on that, to be honest with you.
What about this guy, Title? Your boy, going to get the job done. $200. Ruckert is out. He's $200. He's the guy that I just saw that popped.
Maybe it's him.
It's him, if anybody, for sure. But I mean, he was like, what, the third string tight end? I think they called him up. I don't know. It's at the end of the day, I guess. Yeah, I probably won't really get there. But if you're 115 or something, he is the guy if you're punting all the way for sure.
What about the other guy down there, the other backup tight end? I can't pronounce his name. Do you see him?
The Knutz guy. Yeah, he has a good name, Zach, but he spells it wrong. No, I have no clue. Let's call him Zach, but he spells it wrong. He's also $200. No, if these guys beat me, they beat me.
Zach Kuntz? Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. You sure it's Kuntz?
I'm assuming.
All right. Well, I just didn't know, but he's $200. So he's another guy that you can play on here. It says he was just signed to the active roster yesterday. So
yeah,
maybe it's him. Maybe it's your boy.
After you play him. Yep.
Oh God, this might be the worst spot. But someone said he's on my best ball team, and then I got eliminated. But Bader Bear, big time Jets fan, Jason
6'9".
says he's 6'9". That's what we're talking about.
Parham status. Parham.
Of course, your best ball team's eliminated if you're drafting a 5th string tight end beginning of the year. Come on, Ross.
Come on, Ross. Ross gonna take that hoodie off soon. We keep making fun of him. Gosh, we gotta be nice.
He's a man. Come on.
No. Yeah, I don't mind that. If he's 6'9", backup tight end, maybe, who knows? I got to look at these guys a little bit more after we get off the show. But I will say this: you guys can start to throw your scores in. We're gonna give away the annual membership. Give you a little bit more time to get after the 6 month, but real quick, throw your scores in for tonight's game. And I think last game was the first one they ever got both right. The chat, right? They got the over, and was it the Raiders winning against the Chargers or what? I forget what ended up happening, but I'm pretty sure the chat got it right for the first time ever. So let's try and get on a little winning streak now. Let's go with what the chat wants tonight. Pick that. We'll double down here. What do you think happens? And then we'll look at the Run the Sim segment over here to bring that up as well. But Hoopster, I got the winner. And the winner of the annual membership to SHIPITNation.com is going to be on YouTube at NoelFan1729. At NoelFan1729 is going to be the winner. Screenshot your account, send it over to info@SHIPITNation.com. We'll reach out on here as well and contact you. But at NoelFan1729 wins the annual membership based on us getting to the 5,000 subscribers. You guys can see it here. You can go subscribe for yourself if you want to be in on these future giveaways. We did giveaways all the way up on top of all the other giveaways. Gave our guy Adam one earlier. He is still putting shit in the chat. Rising above the rest. Teaching process were simply the best. I mean, he's still going in. But by the way, when you do get into the Discord, no poems allowed, my friend. You gave us the idea. It's all cut off at that point. So we're good after this. We got a lot from you, but NoelFan1729 will get the annual membership. If you guys want to get in, get a membership for yourself, you can get in for $24 for the weekly, $69 for the monthly. If you want to save 10% off the monthly, 6 month, or annual, you simply use the promo code MAYO, M-A-Y-O, gets you 10% off any of those membership options. Hoop, anything you want to add there for the winner? Anything else you want to add for the upcoming? And then, of course, we'll get to this sim segment. I'll load it up as you talk.
Yeah, congratulations to the winner. Just, as a testament to our growth. We're only 7 months in, and got to that 5,000 number really quickly. Couldn't have done it without you guys. And congratulations to Noel Fan for getting that win. But again, we appreciate everyone's support. I mean, it wouldn't have been possible to give this away without everyone's support here. You guys showing up to these shows for us and showing out. So appreciate all that. You want me to hit FanDuel real quick before we dive in here?
Oh, yeah. You can do that too, because I give people more time. Guys, keep throwing your scores in for this game tonight, how you see it playing out, and then we'll look at that right after the FanDuel stuff. What do you got here?
Yeah, so a little bit tougher, I'd say, actually, on FanDuel. 16.5 for Joe Flacco. I mean, that's a big boy price tag. Breece Hall, $15K, Amari Cooper, 14.5. So, I mean, you got a lot of big boy price tags. Thought maybe this would be a slate where they just, bring the prices down and make it easy to build teams. Like if you're playing multiple of these guys, you got to come down and play some cheap guys, which obviously are pretty non-existent on the slate. Jerome Ford stands out though at 12K. The game fits. FanDuel scoring better. Browns defense is 10K. They'll be popular. Simeon at 13.5. Garrett Wilson 11.5. And Njoku 11K. So Garrett Wilson, I think, has a nice price tag over there at 11.5. Talked about Kareem Hunt, 9,500. Elijah Moore at 8K. That's a good price tag. Tyler Conklin, 8K, very good price tag. And then it just drops off to all those cheap dudes that we talked about. So again, the one thing that stands out to me on FanDuel, if you want to be heavy on the Flaccos where QBs score better on FanDuel opposed to DraftKings, you want to be heavy on Flacco, Breece Hall, Amari Cooper, gonna have to make some sacrifices. Trevor Siemian, bad price, 13.5. That's not great, for a guy like Siemian. That's kind of up there. So could be challenging on FanDuel to make teams that look pretty good tonight.
Yeah, I'm just looking up our guy Kuntz there. He's 6'8", actually, it says, and he is 251 pounds, drafted number 220 overall in the draft. Just trying to get the stats on your boy. He's 6'3", 250. So we'll see. We'll see who gets activated and what that looks like when they play out there tonight. But we'll have the inactives in our Discord for sure. Title, anything else you want to add, man? If not, you could throw a score up on the screen. We'll get to the first one over here on Run the Sims.
Yeah, no, Hoop broke FanDuel down. It's tough. It definitely is tough over there. The one price that I stood out, I guess, is Elijah Moore. But, I mean, his floor is 2 points as well. So, yeah, tough over there. And that means it's really hard to get unique. First score, though, I saw, and it's pretty close to the total, pretty close to the spread. I think 23-13 Browns. Unless if you want to go like 20. If you're worried about kickers, you can mix it up a little bit. But something like that.
Yeah, and I only saw like 8 to 10 scores in there, and they all pretty much, besides one or two, had the side for basically exactly what you expected to play out, like the Browns winning and the Jets only putting up like 13 points. So, of course, it's going to go exactly how it's supposed to, guys, right? So if you guys haven't seen this before, runthesims.com. You can use promo code SHIPIT to get in on the action. Pretty easy to use, but it's the best for Showdown when it comes to this stuff. You just go DFS Tools, NFL, go to the Sim Runner. We're turning off the Pro mode where we can just run the Sims. You can go crazy with it and get it super manipulative and go move things around for what you see the game playing out like and how it's happening. We're just looking at the score. So I've changed the Jets to 13 points scored. I've changed the Browns to 23. You can mix and match the other stuff on your own if you want. The settings are set up to run 10,000 simulations of this game, and we'll get the optimal results where it will show us the player, their price, what Run the Sims has their ownership like for the flex and for captain. And then it will say within these 10,000 simulations, how did it actually play out and who ended up in those optimal lineups. Based off of that, we can see where the leverage is on this slate based on the score that we're putting up. So let's see what that looks like and go from there. So Flacco goes up right now.
Ford.
Where's Ford at? Yeah, Ford looks really good, right? They've got him 23% owned in the flex. The simulations have him up to almost 35%. They've got him 6% owned in the captain, which I actually could see this being higher, but it still has him up to around 12%. So big leverage in all these places on Ford. Cooper's about right. Flacco becomes a lot worse, even with them being up. Obviously, Ford is stealing from him based on this score. That's what's happening there. Breece Hall, the preferred Jet, and then Garrett Wilson not far behind him. What else do you want to see with this one, Title? Anything else that you see here for this stuff?
Yeah, the Browns D looks to be over, and they only had him at 8% captain, 52% flex. 13 points isn't a lot for the Jets either, so it does not like that. Doesn't like Flacco with captain. We didn't like that much either, even them putting up 23. Scroll down a little bit. Let's see what it likes with like the Gibsons, the Conklins, the Moores. Hates Conklin. Holy cow, what did they got him at? 39%, 6%. Hates him. Moore a little bit. Negative leverage on both defenses. Likes Gibson, the Anaconda. Who's at 28? Brownlee, they like a little bit. Tillman.
Little love to your guy here on Kareem Hunt, right? Nothing crazy, but just a little bit more in the captain, which is what we were kind of talking about earlier. Like, I think I would roll with that. You could do him up top. He would definitely make more sense because he's not only eating the lunch of Jerome Ford, but Jerome Ford's the expensive one. So you're also allowing yourself to get the other guys around him instead. So it actually would make more sense to go with Hunt up in the captain spot. Anybody of these other guys down here? Someone said, what's Kuntz? What is he? 1% across the board. I think they just put a number in when it gets that low, but we'll have to wait and see how that one actually plays out. Anything else, Title, that you saw within this spot?
So my biggest takeaway, I think, is if you think the Browns, a score like this, it really likes the running backs. You can play both, I think, in the flex, but Kareem or Ford, it really, really likes. It doesn't like Flacco much. I don't know. At half the ownership with Kareem, it's pretty. I mean, Kareem gets a lot of the first goal line touches and the chances to get in there. So yeah, maybe I have to reconsider Ford a bit, but I do like Hunt the more we talk about it. We should. I'll let Hoop or you pick, but we should do a little like a Jets where they score like at least 2 touchdowns to see if it still hates a Conklin and it still hates all those other guys as much. But
what do you think, Hoop? Like 7?
Yeah, put in I don't know, do a scoring game, 27-20 or something, or 27-21, 28-21. Do 28-21 and eliminate the kickers because they're going to be owned no matter what.
And you still want it for the Browns side, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's put that in and see.
Who do you have as the top tight end tonight, Hoop? That's what the chat was asking. Who's your tight end call?
There's like 2 tight ends, right? I mean, give me the guy that
Conklin. Who you got?
Like, give me the dude that's like scored a shit ton of fantasy points this year.
Yeah, Njoku. And by this year, he means the last 2 weeks of the season, so it has to happen a third time. Let's go. 28-21.
Got that connection with Flacco, man.
Here we go. All right, let's see what we got here now. Who was the first guy we said we were talking about? Oh, Conklin we wanted to see, just scrolling down to it. Conklin goes just as bad. It just doesn't have him in the captain. It doesn't have him popping.
Yeah. Or it doesn't like him flex either. Of course, high scoring game, of course, it hates defenses. That makes sense. High scoring game, it hates Flacco regardless. Really likes Simeon because he is that 29% ownership. I think is probably about right. And you rarely get a quarterback that low. So what are your guys' thoughts there?
That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be over on that. I mean, just
in the flex.
And it's a slate where like 10 can be the winner. Like, I'll take the guy that's. I mean, even though he sucks and he's cheeks, I agree with you on all that. But man, if he's could drop back and throw it 40 times, I just have to take my chances there. Not don't love him in captain like we talked about, but just got to take my chances in the flex.
Yeah, and there should be trailing. I mean, they were up, 28-7, or they were up to a huge lead early. Of course, Commanders came back, so we had a lot more dropbacks there. But if they're going to be behind almost all game, I think Simeon in the flex is strong.
Just think about that. The opposing defense is going to be twice as owned as a quarterback that has the ball in his hand, at least to start every offensive play for the most part. So that is pretty wild.
Yeah, that's I think again, it's just all what people think, right? Everyone thinks the same thing, that the Cleveland D is on the field opposite him every time that ball is going into his hands, and they're excited for that opportunity. But I'm with you. I'm on the Simeon side. It doesn't take much to convince me of that. At the start of the show, I kind of thought I'm probably playing Browns D. You can leave money on the table, you can do it, but they're going to be just extremely owned, is what I'm starting to see. So we'll see how I handle that as the night goes on and just mess around with some other things, but. I like, breaking this down from this perspective. It looks like it's off Flacco, which I was good with. It doesn't love Njoku. Like, even in this higher scoring game, it drops him down, but he still is up there 10% of the time, but he's negative captain leverage. So I'm happy to see that from my end. I like the guys that it likes. Again, -1, but up there 16% of the time for Breece, the same 10 on Wilson with some positive, slightly positive. I'm good with some of these guys on that side. Simeon looks like Simeon, Ford, and Hunt are 3 guys that look like they're better used at captain almost, even though they're still good in the flex. I'm just saying it kind of makes sense that they would be the spot where they could just be at the top, and you're seeing 6% in the captain. You're seeing almost 12% in the captain. And I know it's only 3% or whatever, but it's pushing 4% down here on Hunt for the point the title brought up earlier on. So I could see going there as well, especially in large field. Probably doesn't take much to get overweight on him if you want to pop it in. And there, Hoop, your guy, Landa, shout out to Landa. Hope you had a great holiday season. Yeah. Wondering if you're going to be in the house for the Lions' first home playoff game in 30 years. We've been talking about this all season.
I do not like going to NFL games. I'll be the first to admit that. I think like the viewing experience at an NFL game is awful. Like, I'd much rather watch games at home, but I will make the exception. I will 100% be at that game. There's no doubt about that. I'm going. No doubt.
Yes. Seeing the Lions finally get there and take another L.
Yeah.
Most likely. I would not be surprised. But I hope they match up with the Rams, because that would be a great storyline. Matthew Stafford coming back and playing in Ford Field, where he sucked for so many years. And I'd like to see that one.
Tambo's pumped right now. His Lamar, his Ravens, he's feeling it over there.
You know what I said about that? We were on the Sunday show together.
He knows how it ends.
I said they'll definitely win this game when no one thinks they can. It doesn't really matter besides who gets the better record right now and what things look like on paper going into this setup of the playoffs. But now the Ravens play Miami this week. I mean, they could even see a letdown right away from that spot. And then obviously in the playoffs, there's always something that happens. And when you got to go up against these other teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, some of these other guys, I mean, it's just really tough. So hopefully they can get there. I would love it. I could tell they're going to win that one. Be betting against them when it comes to the playoffs with the head, not the heart, for sure. When it comes to
Kyle Hamilton's a complete stud, though, man. He is fun to watch.
That was awesome, that one play, but he ended up getting injured at the end. I didn't follow up on it, but that one play was pretty nuts. Yeah,
he should be good, but he's fun to watch.
Someone got Hoop and I against each other in the Super Bowl. They got it.
I'll take it.
I'd be fine. Ravens won the race bowl. That was brought up last week too. People kept talking about it. My God, some of the stuff that goes around on the internet these days, Barstool was running with that. And then someone said, isn't that game on Thursday night? So just wild stuff that people come up with out there. But it was a good game until it wasn't. That game with the 49ers and the Ravens started out with Kittle getting all those yards. Like, okay, going to see a back and forth. And then Purdy just completely fell off, right?
Yeah, I mean, CMC is my MVP. It was never Purdy there, but Lamar looks to win it. Looks to be the favorite.
What was your? We're gonna get out of here anyway, Hoop. But your quick take just on the some people like try and overdo it. Some people using like the EPAs and the spreadsheets and the stats about Purdy. Others say that it's just simple. Like, go figure it out. If you put Lamar on San Francisco, aren't they still pretty good? If you put Purdy on the Ravens, down Mark Andrews, down all these other, like, does Purdy really turn those guys up into that type of record and that game flow? What do you think about that? How does that?
I'm not taking anything away from Purdy. I mean, it's phenomenal what he's doing, but there's just no doubt about it. There's certain teams where multiple types of quarterbacks could flourish. The 49ers are one of those teams where you could plug in a lot of different guys and they would have a ton of success there. Again, not taking away anything from Purdy. I think he's been phenomenal. Like, he's been awesome. But to me, the 49ers offense is a system type offense where a lot of guys could flourish. Like the Ravens situation, much more unique and complex. So love Purdy, love what he's doing, but I think a lot of guys could do well in that position.
And then, our guy Jake, always here supporting. Appreciate you, man. Hope you had a good holiday season. Says Tyreek, and now we get the double down. No one's talking about this, but assuming he goes as I expect him to, and we're good, Tyreek could be against Lamar, who's the favorite now. And then now you're getting these two matching up again this week. Could definitely.
If Tyreek goes off in that game and they win, he's going to go to the top. I mean, it's so week to week on the MVP stuff. It's wild.
Yeah, goes right down to the wire. So, Title, you're anything you want to add there? If not, your final thoughts on this slate, and then we'll get out of here.
Well, I got a feel for the guy that I guess not really. If you put $125,000 and bought a ticket for Brock Purdy MVP, I don't know if you guys saw that, but
yeah, that's not.
I mean, I guess you can't
really
feel
for
bad
him, though, for paying kind of money for that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I feel for him, but the dude has to have a lot of cheese, or he just has to be dumb as a box of rocks. So no, I don't feel for him. As far as this game though, leave some money on the table. I'm gonna be condensed that captain, like you said. You could play 5 captains, literally any 5 you want, 20% each, and you will be overweight on all of them, is how I'm seeing it. Leave some money. I'm not playing these bums down low. I don't know. 6'8" tight end, though, is a little appealing. It's reminding me like a Jimmy Graham. Is this dude going to fall in the end zone once and somehow be enough? Hopefully not. But, yeah, avoid the low range. Get tight at captain. Get overweight. Leave some money on the table is how I'm approaching it. But it's always fun. This was the last Showdown show we're talking about. Again, we really do appreciate everyone out there. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this. If we had one person watching, we wouldn't be on here every single Thursday. So you guys really do make this happen, and we really do appreciate it.
100%. Yes. Thank you guys all for your support. I really do hope too the $200 tight end situation gets made out to be something where it's one of them is inactive and one of them plays, and we could just mix that into the pool some. That would be fun. So we'll see how that actually looks. Before I get Hoop's final thoughts, I will announce we'll stick with our guy, Darren Kostecki. He had the one earlier. He incorporated the slogan, the name, the thoughts, all the things that we talk about, and one of our inside jokes. So definitely appreciate Darren. Darren, you can reach out to us, info@shipitnation.com. Just screenshot your YouTube account. We'll get you set up for your next 6 months with Ship It Nation. Hoop, go to you, man. Final thoughts. We've had some big winners. And again, by the way, thanks so much to Nevs, our guy, Chris Neville, for giving away that 6-month bonus add-on. Thanks to everybody for getting us to the 5,000, but lots more giveaways to come. Now we're going to 6,000, and we'll move from there. Hoop, final thoughts on this slate for you?
Yeah, again, I like the point where, man, you pick 4 or 5 captains, spread it out amongst those 4 or 5, you're automatically going to be overweight on the field. Be careful what you do with the Browns defense. Again, they're going to be higher owned in the captain than you think, and they're going to be higher owned in the flex than you think. Not saying to fade them, but be careful how you build those teams, because you're going to see a lot of duplication within those teams. Hopefully we get a good one tonight. And then also appreciate all the support. We were able to give away the annual membership today, and again, couldn't have done it without the support of this community. And whether or not you're a member or not, we appreciate it. We know some people can't necessarily afford it, the content side. So you guys just showing up to these YouTube shows means a lot and helps us grow. So we appreciate your support as well.
Yeah, we always try and keep it as low as possible as we can. So when you are ready to join, or if you win something off one of the free shows or want to get into the mix with us, we'd love to have you over here. The $24 weekly, remember, does not come with Discord. It's the one thing missing if you sign up for just weekly. But if you do sign up for the month, it's $69. You can use promo code MAYO to get 10% off. It takes it down to like $2 a day to get it on the action. You get all the stuff that we offer: projections, ownership, the tools, the community, the Discord, of course, all of the core plays, the slate plans, the player pools, everything else that we have to offer. That's going to do it for this show and for this one, guys. We appreciate you guys all season long watching here with us. Stick with us. We'll be back for the 9:45 a.m. Eastern main slate show for week 17 and beyond. Playoff shows, etc. will be here. So thank you guys so much. For Title, for Hoop, for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.